Welcome, everybody, to the Moxi Works demonstration. We're so glad you could join us today. By way of introductions, this is Jen Horvat and Peter McGarry coming at you from the Agent Services office here on Main Street. We're so glad that you could be here today and join us, and we're so excited to roll out Moxi Works. I'm actually going to pitch this over to Peter at this point. He's going to take it from here to introduce you to what Moxi Works is. And then I'm going to take you through a live demonstration of the actual Moxi Works platform. So give us a second here and we'll switch over to Mr. Peter. Hold on. As I try.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Peter McGarry, your Chief Business Development Officer, and it's my honor and privilege to be taking you through sort of a high level of what Moxi is. And that's my picture, and there's Jen, your Chief Marketing Officer, next. And first, let's talk about the complete Moxi Works suite, which is being provided to you, paid for exclusively by Michael Saunders Company. And the reason why we're really making a note of this is because one of our values at Michael Saunders Company is mutual profitability. And we determined that this system is so incredibly important to you to help you become more profitable that we as a company are investing in this system, so this is yours for you to work with. So why did we choose Moxi Works? Well, we reviewed 75 different real estate client relationship management systems, or CRMs, and we decided on Moxi Works because Moxi Works is dedicated to sphere of influence marketing. And it's designed by realtors to be easy to use. Now, as we all know, we as realtors think a little differently than most, and so it's important that the realtors that designed the system thought like we do, so the system is easy to use. And even its utmost importance is it's owned by realtors to control our own destiny. Every time we're hearing more and more about the disruptors and the disintermediators and all these companies that are out there trying to get between us and our consumers or our clients' sphere of influence, folks. And Windermere, Long & Foster, and Howard Hanna Real Estate are three primary investors in Moxi, and they have 30,000 agents that are using the system every day, and all of us are going to work together to help to evolve the product and the system so it suits our needs as we move into the future. So why the focus on sphere of influence marketing? Well, hey everybody, your sphere of influence is made up of people who know you, like you, and trust you enough to recommend you to friends, family, and coworkers. These are people that, as Matthew Ferraro said last year, these are our pirates. These are our peeps. These are the people that are out there that are working for us on our behalf to send referrals our direction. The nice thing about it is that because these prospects that are coming from your sphere of influence are referred to you by people they know, like, and trust, these prospects are less likely to demand discounts, to interview other agents, and to behave poorly. They don't want to damage their reputations with the individual who recommended them, so generally sphere of influence business is just better business. Across the 100,000 agent user base, Moxi has proven to increase listing and sales, to increase commissions, and to increase relevance and trust with each of the agents' sphere of influence. Relevance and trust we are determining are the two of the most critical things that we could come across with our sphere of influence. We have to be top of mind with our folks so that when someone they know, like, and trust asks for a recommendation, your name will be top of mind. So how does Moxi Works work? Well, Moxi Works works by focusing your efforts where it counts most. And according to the National Association of Realtors Source of Customer Service survey, that prospecting and internet leads have about a 1% average close ratio. So you have to get 100 leads from the internet before one of them will generally close. Referrals from your sphere of influence, on the other hand, have a 70% close rate. 7 out of 10 referrals that come out of your sphere of influence are likely to close. So it just makes the good efforts to put your money when your efforts where it counts. So in the similar survey, the National Association of Realtors just released their 2017 profile of all home buyers, and 56% of all home buyers in 2017 came from sphere of influence. 42% were referred by or is a friend, neighbor, or relative. 12% were past customers, and 2% were referred by another broker. 56%. Moxi Works, now to kind of take a minute and look under the hood of the Moxi Works system, it's comprised of two primary modules. The first module is Moxi Present, and the second module is Moxi Engage. Now, Moxi Present is comprised, number one, Moxi Present is MLS connected. So every presentation you do within Moxi Present, like a CMA, for example, is connected to the MLS so that it always has up-to-the-minute MLS data. And also, it gives you the ability to interactively show clients market conditions as the market moves in real time. It also has a function within Moxi Present called Drive Time. Every MLS listing can be shown with the actual driving commute time to any locations. Clients love it because, of course, it shows location, location, location. How much time does it take to get to each location? And Moxi Present's presentations within it allow you to include video or other rich media right into your presentation. As they say, adding a little sight, sound, and emotion wins more business. They've got to be multimedia. And listing flyers. You can create listing flyers in a snap by just simply entering the MLS number, and property details and photos immediately appear in your choice of MSC flyer formats. And most importantly, within Moxi Present, this is where the award-winning MS&C marketing will place presentations and materials for your use. So this is where you will go to get your presentations. Now, the next aspect of Moxi Works is Moxi Engage, the second component. And Moxi Engage utilizes sphere methodology. Great word, methodology. At the heart and soul of Moxi Engage is a sphere-based selling methodology guiding you along the way. What this is fancy words for saying is this gives you the ability to customize and create a unique experience that you want to deliver to your sphere referrals so that your experience and your transactions will be consistent in what you're doing to generate the kind of experience that makes you the most recommendable and the most referable to people that have been referred to you through your sphere. The second is it allows you to establish business goals. You set your sales volume goal within Engage and receive activity recommendations from the system based on where you are in relation to your goal to make sure you can achieve your goals or have a greater chance of achieving your goals by year end. A coaching component. Relevant activities and tasks are recommended based on where a client is in the sales cycle. So where a client of yours is in the process, there will be activities that will be recommended to you to increase your opportunities for referrals. It helps you to do the right thing at the right time, every time. And Moxi Engage is also connected to our MLS, so every time an MLS record comes through the system that's assigned or attached to you, it will automatically update your sales goals so you can see, again, real time, how your transactions are occurring and building up towards you achieving your goal. So, content created within Moxi Present is delivered into your sphere by Moxi Engage. So the presentations that are created in Present are delivered into your sphere by Moxi Engage. And when a member of your sphere opens your presentation, it's automatically recorded in Moxi Engage so you can see how engaged your sphere is. You will see when you send a presentation to a potential prospect, you will know when that presentation is opened by your recipient. So, as we all know, what is the relationship between Moxi Engage and our MSC Outlook? Well, one of the most significant benefits of Moxi Engage is that you do not have to enter your contacts into the system. Once you activate your account, your MSC Outlook-based contacts will automatically appear. So any contact name that you have in Outlook will automatically appear in Moxi Engage. Now, I understand this is a photo of a child looking into a mirror, and if it was real life, that Outlook words would be reversed, but that bothered me, so I left it looking this way. So our MSC Outlook is synchronized or mirrored to Moxi Engage, meaning every contact remains on our servers. So like a true mirror, Engage is simply reflecting the latest contacts you have in MSC Outlook. So any contact residing in MSC Outlook automatically appears in Engage, and new contacts added to Engage automatically appear in your MSC Outlook. Contacts removed from your MSC Outlook will automatically be removed from Engage. Now, and here's the cool thing. However, deleting a contact in Engage will not delete the name in your MSC Outlook. So what this does is this is a good fail-safe to keep you from accidentally, or when you want to keep your Engage clean and you're deleting people out of your Engage, you will not be deleting those folks out of your Outlook, so they'll still stay there. So, what if your contacts are not in MSC Outlook? Well, if your contacts are not in Outlook or located in different systems, simply speak to your manager, log into our intranet and submit a technical service request or a TSR, and our MSC technology is here for you. The team is here to help you centralize your contacts into Outlook. If your contacts are not in MSC Outlook and you prefer to enter them one at a time into Moxi, not a problem. Moxi is designed to be flexible and easy to use. So now, a note on personal contacts. Both Michael Saunders Company and Moxi Works have clear policies regarding the privacy, ownership, and right of removal belonging to you, our valued agent. Without your express permission, no one in Michael Saunders Company or Moxi Works can even see or access your account records. There is no shadow of a doubt these contacts are yours. So, if you want to learn more about Moxi, see your manager and ask about our ongoing Michael Saunders Company training, or feel free to visit moxiworks.com. It's a highly interactive site, lots of videos, again, designed by realtors for realtors, because, as I said before, it's the only sphere of influence system owned and designed by realtors for realtors, so we shall not perish from this earth. So, in the meantime, here's Jen to take us on a live presentation. And again, feel free to chat with the chat box if you have any questions or comments during the presentation. Here you go, Jen.
Thank you, Peter. We're just going to change seats here, so give us a couple seconds. All right. Hello, everybody. Glad to be back with you. So, let us go ahead and actually enter into Moxi. Give me a few seconds here to clear my screen. All right. Make sure all of you can see that, and you can. Fantastic. Okay. I did have a question from the audience, and yes, this is the same presentation we gave on Wednesday. It's just a redo. So if you joined us again, welcome. If you need to go, I understand. So without further ado, let's get into the Moxi system. This is it, guys. This is the Moxi system. As you can see up at the top of the page, you have Engage, which is what Peter talked about, where you will engage your sphere of influence. You have Present, which is where you can present different information to your sphere of influence. And those are the two things that we're going to cover today. So let's start with Engage, because ultimately that is one of the most important things of the system. First and foremost, as we said earlier, Engage is a tool for you to be able to know how are you progressing throughout the year based on your production. And production is more than just clients that you have in process with either a sale or a buyer. It's actually about everything that goes into it with your sphere of influence. So on the home page here, you're going to see that there's a box and it says Sales Volume Goal. I'm going to click on that box and it's going to take us to an area of our dashboard that will allow you as an agent to enter in what your sales volume goal is. What a novel idea. If you don't know your sales volume goal, I would probably talk to your manager, because my bet would be they have one for you. If you have a sales volume goal, you'll simply come up to the top of your screen where this little wrench is. You'll click the wrench and you're able to edit your sales volume goal at any time. You can look at your sales volume goal in dollars or in percentage of how much you've reached toward those dollars. Now, unlike you, I of course have no transactions. I wish I did, but I'll leave that to you, the experts. But if I had any transactions, what would happen is as soon as they close in the MLS, you will see buyer and seller transactions under the details area. Those will automatically come in for any transaction where you are the primary agent, and it'll show up here in your sales volume goal area. What a great place to know how you are doing versus your goal throughout the year. So that's a little bit about the sales volume goal. I will tell you that your managers will be able to see your sales volume goal in their database, and they'll know how you are progressing against that goal as well. So it's a great tool for you and your manager to stay in contact with one another. Okay, now let's get into the heart and soul of Engage, and that is around your contacts. So the value of Moxi is that, as we said earlier, this has automatically connected to my Microsoft Outlook. When I sign on for the first time, it goes and grabs all of my contacts and ports them in. As you can see, I have 1,601 uncategorized contacts. But never fear, I also have them in groups. So my contacts came over with the categorized groups. So I know that 9 of those 1,600 people are my affiliate business partners. I know that 121 are my friends and family. I know that 15 are my most contacted people, probably my husband, poor guy, MSC affiliates, staff, so on and so forth. So I can continue to categorize or group those people in my Outlook, and that will automatically sync over into my Moxi on a regular basis. Now, the good news is, as we said earlier, if you don't have any contacts in your Outlook, but you want to use Moxi, it's very easy to add people one at a time. So what I'm going to do is click this button that says Add People. Pretty intuitive, right? So the first thing you're going to do is obviously add the person. So I'm going to add the person that I actually had lunch today with. So here we go, JD. I'm going to add her name. The good thing here is I can add any piece of information I have on JD. I don't have to have every piece, but I do want to have at least the most important pieces, which is probably a phone number and an email address. So her phone number, I'm going to go ahead and put in the system. Hopefully I don't make any errors here. Here we go. I'm going to put in her email address. Okay. And that's really all I need. I can add her address. I can add her instant messaging. I can add relationships. So if she's married, I can put in her husband's information. I can add important dates such as her children's birthdays, her birthday, whatever it may be. I can even add her social media. So if I know that we're friends on social media, I can add her social media page on here. So it's just a great way to know as much information about them as possible. Now I want to point out that let's just say that JD is not necessarily a customer. She's actually going to be more of a collaborator with me. She's going to be maybe a fellow agent that I want to stay in touch with, but I don't necessarily want to treat as a customer. I could actually hit collaborator at this point. It'll take JD and kind of put her off to the side into my Engage as a collaborator. At this point, I actually want to pretend like she's a customer of mine or potential customer, somebody that I think someday I'll do business with. So at this point, I add JD to my database, and there she is. So at this point, I can call her either a client, which is basically someone that I think I want to do business with either now or in the future, or non-client would be that example I gave you, which was basically somebody who is another agent, a collaborator, someone I want to work with. Maybe it's more of a vendor, for instance, that I don't necessarily want to stay in touch with as I would a client. I would choose non-client. In this case, I'm going to keep JD as a client. And what I want to do now is I actually want to go ahead and set her up with some subscriptions. The cool thing here is these subscriptions are set it and go subscriptions. Once you add your customer to it, you're done. So I'm going to hit add subscriptions. And what I then do is go into neighborhood news. Neighborhood news is a monthly email sent to your customer based on a zip code with information about that area. It'll tell them current sales, past sales, average price, so on and so forth, as you would expect from a neighborhood news update. The cool thing is when your customer gets it once a month from you, the system will alert you that they actually got it and opened it. The other cool thing is that if the customer says, yeah, you know what, I'm not really interested in Longboat Key anymore, now I want Siesta Key, they can actually change the zip code themselves for future iterations. And it's a great tool that just reminds them every month that you are interested in them and real estate here in the area. So I'm going to hit add subscription. There's JD. I'm going to add her to 34236. The cool thing is she actually works for one of our publications around town. So I do think she's going to actually be very interested in knowing what's happening in that neighborhood and area. I can customize this welcome message to her. So if I wanted to say, hey JD, thanks for lunch today. It was so great seeing you. I've gone ahead and subscribed you to our neighborhood news report. I could actually type that specialized message in there. I would hit done, and it's going to email her immediately today's current neighborhood news for 34236. The great thing is if JD opens that neighborhood news today, she's going to get the report. If she opens the report later, it's going to give her the up-to-date current information whenever she opens that report. It's a great way to know who has opened it, when they've opened it, and if they've ever changed the zip code. A couple of questions that I see coming in through chat. The first question is, can you send multiples? Absolutely. You can actually set this person up for multiple subscriptions to neighborhood news. What you may want to consider doing is sending 34236 to your current customer who lives in that neighborhood. But if they're considering moving to Lakewood Ranch, maybe you're going to send them 34202. So you would send them both so that they know what's happening in both communities. You are informed when those emails are unsubscribed to, so you'll know if a customer unsubscribes. You'll also know when they open it. Unfortunately, we don't know when the email bounces, I don't believe, but we will check on that to be sure. Those were some of the questions in chat, and those are excellent questions. Thank you, guys. Okay. So I'm going to hit close because I don't actually want to send that to JD at this point. The other Set It and Go subscription is listing announcements. When I click Add Subscription, this is automatically going to send JD all of my just listed and just sold listing announcements. Now this means that every single just listed announcement that I put into the system, so all of my new listings and all of my sold listings, an email will go out the minute that that listing goes either goes new into MLS or closed into MLS. Unfortunately, what we can't do is say only send my $1 million to my $1 million and my under $1 million to my under. This is all or nothing, which is great because really what you're doing is staying in touch with all of your customers that you want them to know your listing announcements in all of your areas. If you want to send custom ones, we'll show you how to do that later on in the presentation. But these two subscriptions are fantastic to set it and go. Your customers will appreciate it. We have had many instances during our beta testing of customers saying, thanks for this information. This is great. I haven't heard from you in a while. I love getting this every month. The day you subscribe your customer is the same day a month later that they'll get the next newsletter. So literally if I subscribe JD today, on July the 7th, she'll get the next neighborhood update. So it's 1 month from the time that you originally subscribed them. Every single month they will receive that update. So those are great set it and go places. You can also, if you go back to your My People, let's say you wanted to mass subscribe people to neighborhood news. Like for instance, I know that my friends and family, when I bring them up, I know that I want to go ahead and subscribe all of them to neighborhood news. I can easily do that by going to my folder where I have all of my friends and family set up. I can select all, and then I can subscribe them to neighborhood news in one easy step. And then I can just go in and add their zip code to simply wherever I want their neighborhood news to be subscribed to. That's a great, easy tool to mass subscribe people. I don't necessarily recommend mass subscribing people all the time, but certainly for certain agents it can certainly work. But that's up to you to decide what would work best for you. Okay? All right, so we've set your sales goal. We've entered a new contact. We've signed that contact up for neighborhood news and for just listed and just sold. So now let's go ahead and show you how you would move a customer through what we call the workflow. The workflow is essentially exactly as it sounds. So I'm going to go ahead and take Adrienne here, and we're going to pretend like Adrienne is currently going to be a seller of mine. I've been in touch with her over time, and we've kept in close contact, and now she's ready to become an actual seller. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Client. At this point, I'm given three options. I can either just go ahead and create a marketing plan for her, so maybe she's not ready to transact today, but maybe tomorrow or a few years from now. But in this case, I'm actually going to make her my seller prospect. She has reached out to me. I know she owns a home and she is ready to sell that home. So I click Make Seller Prospect. And what's going to happen now is it's going to take me through a series of activities that are recommended based on that person wanting to sell their home. Now, these are recommended activities. Doesn't mean that they're required. And it also allows you to move this person around based on the timing. So in this case, it's encouraging me by tomorrow, so the due date is tomorrow, to schedule my pre-listing interview. Well, good news. Her and I actually had lunch today, so this is done. We already had our pre-listing interview. I asked her a bunch of questions at lunch. I got more information already about the listing. So this is done. I don't have to do anything with this one, so I'm just going to hit done, and it clears it from my to-do list. You'll notice that on 6/9, it's telling me that that's the estimated date where I'd want to create and deliver the pre-listing packet. Well, in this case, I'm actually not going to do a pre-listing packet. I'm just going to go right to the listing appointment. So I'm going to actually go ahead and delete this one. I don't need to do it. So I'm just going to go here, delete. It's out of my to-do list. Now this one, I definitely want to order this Christie's letter, but I don't want to do it yet. I actually want to wait till she signs all the paperwork. So I'm going to go ahead and delay this one. And I'm going to delay this actually until the 15th. So now that's delayed for a few weeks out. Okay? So this again is just a suggested way to go through the process of working with this particular seller. You can also, down the road, probably not right away, you can customize these workflows for yourself. So if you have a certain process that you follow for your own seller and buyer workflows, you'll be able to customize those. The great thing with Moxi is they have easy to follow webinars from the Moxi trainers that they will actually take you and show you how to do this. Moxi Works also has a fantastic help desk. So if you know exactly what your workflow is for your prospects, they'll help you through setting up those opportunities for you. So remember, these are suggested tasks based on Adrian being a current seller prospect and the things that I want to do now or in the future to go ahead and work with that seller. So that's a little bit about that area of Moxi. So we've learned how to see our groups. We've learned how to add a person. We've seen how to take a current person and put them into what we like to call the sales flow. So now let's go ahead and go into the next part of Moxi, which is our present functionality. I like to consider present to be your new, easier PowerPoint/CMA/email tool. It can really do all of it, I promise you. I'm not going to have time to show you all of it today, but I'm going to show you some of the highlights. So the first and most obvious thing is to go ahead and create a seller CMA for this seller, Adrian, that I was working with. So it's as simple as hitting Create New. I'm going to hit Create a Seller CMA. I'm going to go ahead and select one of our default templates, which will automatically include a recommended 13 pages to the CMA. I'm going to go ahead and put in Adrian's name here, and I hit Create. What this is now doing is taking me into the creation of this CMA. I'm going to go ahead and enter a subject property. I'm going to search for that subject property. I'm going to compare it to specific listings. I'm going to estimate what I believe her home to be worth. And then I'm going to go ahead and put all of that information into 13 pages of information for my seller. So I'm going to go ahead and put in Adrian. I'm just going to put Smith because I can't remember her name. That's not what you're going to do. In this case, I know that Adrian's home was once listed for sale. So I have the old MLS number. So I'm going to go ahead and hit that MLS number. And I'm going to go and search for that MLS data. This is my house, so I didn't steal somebody's home, I promise. This is actually my personal property. So we're going to pretend like Adrian lives at 333 Blackbird Court, and here it has put in all of the old information from the original MLS listing when I bought the home. So this is great information that I can go in and I can now edit. So let's say I know that the pool is in ground, it does have concrete, but maybe it was recently updated with a diving board, right? I might add some information, I might go ahead and put in some additional things that have changed about the listing. Also the remarks, I might keep the old remarks in there just so that we can address what was, or I might go ahead and change some of the remarks based on I know what is. I can go ahead and see that this was the last price and sale of when it was sold. I hit continue. Now what I want to do is find comparables. You guys know how these CMA tools work, so I'm not going to belabor that point. You definitely want to come in here and try it. But essentially what I can do is I can search by map, I can look at a list, I can look at a different card system, I can search by specific MLS. So if you know specifically what listings you want to compare this home to, you hit MLS number and you can enter in the MLS number here, hit search, and add those in at any time. Really cool feature. In this case, what I actually just want to do is do a search, and I want to go ahead and just look at the nearest listings. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and turn on my radius. I'm going to make a little circle, and there I have the most current within a certain radius of that listing. If I don't want to include all the listings, I can actually go through this list and say, yeah, I want to include that one. No, I don't want to include that one. Yes, I want to include that. And I can actually go through and pick what I want to include or not include. Now, I know you guys know how to do CMAs, so I'm not going to go through each and every detail of a good CMA. We have classes for that. I'm just here to really kind of demonstrate the process for you. So I've selected a few listings that I want to use as comparables. So now I'm going to the display function. This allows me to actually look at the different listings that I wanted to compare with. Right now they're ordered by high to low, but I could do a custom sort order. So let's just say I wanted to do it based on preference of home. All I have to do is grab the listing, move it up, and it's going to put that one first. Or let's say I want to put this one maybe second to last, and I just move it around. So that's just an easy way to adjust them or move them. But there's all kinds of different. I can do active to sold, sold to active, price, days on market. You can order this however you would want. So that's a nice way to look at it. The other thing is I can upload a picture of this property as well. And I'm actually going to go back and do that really quick. I'm going to go back to the subject property. I can either browse directly to the subject property, or I could pull in the photo from the MLS. I'm going to browse because I know I have the photo handy. Don't mind all my crazy photos. That's going to go ahead and put the photo in. Okay. If I go back to the listings page, just one more time, make sure the photo came up. It did. Here's all the other photos. I can adjust things. I can put things in and put notes in. Again, we'll have much more extensive training on all of that. The next page is an estimate. If I want to show my seller what I believe the estimated market value is in a minimum and a maximum, and then write in a ton of remarks, I can do that at this point. At this point, I'm just going to say, let's get this home sold. I hit continue. So now what I've done is I've created all the content to go into my CMA. And now I can pick the pages for which I want to show my seller. Cover page is obviously a cover page. Property summary is going to show them a summary of the current property with the current details. And then you can go down the list and see, obviously. Now, let's just say in this case, I didn't want to include the net proceeds because I actually didn't do a cost breakdown and go to that length. I click on the net proceeds link. I pick the three little dots. I hit remove, and now that page is removed from my presentation. The other cool thing is you'll be able to add pages to your presentation. So I click add page. I can either add it from my library, so you'll be able to create your own library of content, or I can create a brand new piece. I'm going to create new because I want to show you how cool this is. I can actually upload a PDF page. I can choose the file from which I want to upload it from. I am going to, in this case, find a sample marketing material of mine that I want her to see, because obviously she's very interested in working with me. So I'm going to go ahead and upload. Let's do this feature sheet. I want to show her a sample of my marketing feature sheets. I hit upload. It's a 2-pager, so it's going to upload both pages of the PDF. There we go. You guys probably don't want to hear me sing, so I'll spare you. All right, and now the 2 pages are uploaded. So this is a great way to attach other things, and they could be your pages, they could be things that you've created yourself, things that the marketing team has created for you. It's any PDF. The great thing is if I wanted this page first, I just drag it, move it to the first spot, and now that page would actually come before the other page. So it's very intuitive, very easy to use. So now let me show you what this presentation actually looks like. We're done. So we're going to go back to the home page. This presentation can now be sent to your customer in a variety of ways. You can either email it to them. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to show you how that looks. Sample, presentation, CMA, seller. Hi, Adrian. Great having lunch today. Here is the CMA I promised. I hit send. Now that is going to be sent to her. She's going to get an email. There it is. I just got it. She's going to get an email that looks like this. She's going to scroll down, hit view presentation. And this is a live presentation that will be constantly updated with any changes to those listings that were in the CMA. And she can also click through and look at more information throughout the CMA. It's an interactive map. She can actually move and click on listings to see what the information is. This looks fantastic on the phone. Make sure you go and look at that to see what it actually looks like when your customer gets it. So that's a little sampling of that CMA. Let me scroll down because I do want to show you that page that I added, which were the 2 PDFs at the end. There's PDF page 2, there's PDF page 1. So that's going to add that right to the end of the presentation overview for the CMA. The cool thing is when I go back to my Moxi, if I want to just look at the CMA presentation as a printed document, I can do that as well. And then that way I can go ahead and print it and give it to my customers. So very cool stuff. Okay, we have 2 more things to show you. There's going to be content from time to time where you will be able to use generated content from marketing. So for instance, as you'll see on my screen, we have the home buyer guide. If you're currently working with a buyer and you wanted to send them the buyer's guide, this presentation will be waiting in your brokerage presentations for you, already done. All you have to do is decide who you want to send it to. So you come over here to the presentation, you click on the dial, you hit email, you'll enter in your buyer's name, which I don't think I want to send this to Adam, but if I did, I could, right? So you enter your customer's name, you put in a subject to the email, you put in a message, you hit send, and what the customer is going to get is this beautiful presentation that marketing created that will show you the presentation. And so the great thing here is when they click here to view the guide, it takes them to an interactive guide for the buyer's guide. We're going to have lots of these type of presentations for you to use, such as the rewarding experience, presentation materials, and or even information such as Memorial Day. We'll create a presentation maybe for special holidays that you can push out to your database. This is an example of a video interactive with a great headline and some information, and I'm going to show you actually how to create this by yourself but also know that the marketing team will create these for you as well. So how do I create one all by myself? Here's what you'll do. You'll hit create new. You can choose buyer or seller. It doesn't matter. You'll hit continue. In this case, you don't actually want to include all 13 of those pages because you're going to create your very own presentation about some sort of current topic, a keep in touch topic. So we're going to hit no template. We're going to hit continue. Prepared for, we're going to say maybe, let's see, we've got July 4th coming up. So let's go ahead and create something for the 4th of July. So let's put in Happy Independence, if I can spell right. Oh, and see, it does actually tell me that it's not spelled right, so that's helpful. Hit create. The tool will allow you to go to pages automatically, create add page, create new, and I can actually build a page using their HTML builder. You have 5 different templates to choose from. So this template's literally, you just type in content. This one has 3 different content areas, so on and so forth. I'm going to use the second one today just so you can see what it looks like. It gives you the opportunity at this point to type in text, upload an image, upload video, or there's also other things you can do like choose different templates. For today, I'm just going to go ahead and type in text. We're going to go ahead and type in, whoops, I went too fast. Hang on a second here. Sorry, guys. There we go. Happy Independence Day. I can then make this different sizes. I can make it different colors. I can then scroll down to here. Excuse me, if I wanted to, I could upload a video. So what I've done is gone out to the YouTube channel, and I've gone ahead, and let's just pretend like the Memorial Day video is actually the Independence Day video. Sorry, guys. Hit the share button, hit copy, come back here, hit paste, hit add, and the video appears right in the presentation. Come over here, hit text. Hello, customers. I have a sticky keyboard. Sorry, guys. Literally, my keyboard has stopped working. Welcome to July. Glad to have you. Literally, my keyboard has stopped working. That is the craziest thing. All right, so you'll get the drift here. Again, you can change the font size. You can change the font color. You can do all really cool things to it. And you can create your own really great presentations. Again, name, July 4th. Hit save. Excuse me. Close out of that. Go back to my home page. And there's my presentation that I could then go and email to my groups. So remember I showed you earlier that I had my friends and family group set up. I choose friends and family. I write an amazing subject. I put in a greeting. I put in an awesome message. I hit send. And that 4th of July presentation will be sent to my customers that they can then open, they can view, they can watch the video, and it's a fantastic way to keep in touch with your customers. Okay, last but not least, we want to take you to show you some of the other benefits within your account. As an agent with Michael Saunders Company, you're going to be given an account structure area where you'll be able to come in specifically to agent tools, and under listings, you'll be able to go to your active and pending listings, and you'll be able to create one-page flyers, and you'll be able to look at your listings currently. The other really cool feature, which of course I don't have listings, so I can't show you how to do that feature today, but under my advertisements, this is an opportunity and a chance for you to actually go ahead and use their Facebook advertising creator. I can advertise my listing, and it'll actually pull in everything from the MLS for that listing, or I can advertise my services. I'm going to go ahead and advertise services. I can do a news feed advertisement on Facebook, or I can do a right column ad. I usually recommend doing the news feed ads. You'll tend to get more notice of them. I'll hit create the attention grabbing ad. The cool thing is as I type in information, it will actually update the preview of the ad over here on the right hand side. It's a very cool tool. So call me today for information. I can change the your local expert. I can change to keep calm, I'm a realtor, or whatever else the drop down options are. I can add an additional text. Gray Hawk Landing real estate expert. I can then put in my destination URL, which should probably be my Michael Saunders website. So I'll go to www.michaelsaunders.com. Seriously, my M is not working. It's so funny. Hit Control. Go back to my Moxi. Type in the URL. I can then choose an image. So when I click Choose Image, it's going to give me some default pictures, or I can upload my own. In this case, I've already done that, so I'm going to go ahead and upload the picture that I used in my presentation earlier, which stays in my folder. And then I can also connect this, if I want to my Facebook business page. So the great thing is I can come in here and I can actually set it up in my own account. So that way it'll show up on my page and it'll also be advertised. So you'll want to do that when you use this tool. You'll hit next, and then you can set a budget for your ad. You can set $49, and maybe you wanted to do it over 3 days. This will go ahead and tell you your expected range of how many people you would reach. The great thing is you can also, depending on how you want to target it, you could say, look, I want to do a targeting based on my zip code. I would hit search, and now my expected range of people. Calculate search. So now I'm going to reach between 1,000 and 3,000 people for $49 over 3 days with my own personal ad. I would hit next. The advertisement's going to go out. Lo and behold, you start to advertise out on Facebook. The cool thing is the system will also give you reporting. So if you do market your listings via this tool, it will give you a reach status and tell you how many people your ad has reached. And then you can share that with your seller. It's a great tool to be able to use, and it is very simple to do. Folks, that is today's demonstration. We've showed you how to engage your customers via Engage. We've shown you how to send either a CMA presentation or email type presentations, keep in touch type presentations using the presentation tool. There are so many other things that this system can do. It's really just a matter of getting in there, using it, trusting it, and trying it. So there were some questions via chat, so I'm going to try to answer them quickly here. The first question we had was, how do you view the report prior to sending? So that was in regards to the presentation. So this presentation I have up on my screen right now, if I click the picture, it is literally going to show me the presentation that my customer would see that they would get. So I can preview it here and go, yep, looks good. Or if I wanted to make changes, the great thing is I could go here, I'd hit the little edit key, I'd be able to go into the presentation and make changes at that point. So I can change anything on that page and then republish it essentially. So that's a great question, Barbara. Thank you for asking it. Michael Moulton said, isn't several of these items demonstrated already tools we already have available? Yes. So the CMA tool that we have been using has been called Toolkit CMA. The difference being that Toolkit CMA is a separate CMA tool, and it's not connected to your Engage. So if you're using Engage with your customers and you're sending them presentations using this CMA tool, it's all going to connect together so that you know when your customer opened that presentation, did something with that presentation, and or shared it, saved it, looked at it, whatever it may be, you'll know that they actually did something. So it all connects together. The other thing to remember is that while this other present tool is for presentations on CMAs, it is a keep in touch tool as well. So yes, there's some redundancy there, but we will probably phase out parts of Cloud CMA because obviously using the new Present CMA with Moxi will be a huge benefit. So I think, can you set the subscription by map area? So that question was from Dana, I think, regarding the neighborhood news. The neighborhood news subscriptions are going to actually be set by zip code. So just know that if you want to set up multiple zip codes, you can, but the neighborhood news is done by zip code. And then we already answered the rest of these questions. So if you have anything else, we will take them now. If not, I think we will. Will there be a tab on the bottom of MLS that says Moxi versus Cloud CMA if we select comps that way? Don't believe so at the current time. I do not believe the systems are connected. So this is where you would want to keep those comps inside of your clouds. Inside of Moxi Present. They are not connected. And then Julia says, where do you see customer engagement? That's going to be back in your customer engage file, which I won't be able to show you today because, of course, I haven't sent these real presentations to anybody. But essentially what I would do is go back in to my Present. I would be able to then notice, if I go into my people, I'd be able to see who opened up a presentation based on when I go into that customer's record. So if, let's say I was sending that to Adrian, if I went into Adrian's record, it would show me under activity if she opened anything. So that's where her activity information would be held. And then Sandy asked, how is neighborhood news derived? Where does it come from? Neighborhood news actually is derived right from the MLS. So all of that data is coalesced right from the MLS, and it's all zip code based on the MLS information. So it's just like we would be using trend graphics, or just like we would be using other database systems. Guys, that's all the time we have for today. I thank you very, very much for attending. As Peter said earlier, your offices will have hands-on training coming very soon. Check with your manager for dates. I'm sure they've all emailed you. And then after those hands-on training classes, we will have 3 follow-up webinars that will go more in depth into each of the things that we taught today. So lots of training coming, lots of opportunities to learn more, and we really look forward to having all of you get Moxied. Thanks, everyone.